Year of the Depend Adult Undergarment. Interlace Tel Entertainment, 9/32/1864, RISC. Power TPs with or without console, pink number 2. Post Prime Star DSS dissemination, menus and icons, pixel-free internet fax, tri- and quad modems with adjustable baud, dissemination grids, screens so high-def you might as well be there, cost-effective videophonic conferencing, internal Frox CD-ROM, electronic couture, all-in-one consoles, Nano processors, laser chromatography, virtual capable media cards, fiber optic pulse, digital encoding, killer apps. Carpal neuralgia, phosphenic migraine, gluteal hyperadiposity, lumbar stressy. November 3rd. Year of the Depend Adult Undergarment. Room 204. Subdormitory B. Jim Troeltsch, age 17. Hometown, Narberth, Pennsylvania. Current Enfield Tennis Academy rank in boys 18s, number 8, which puts him at number 2 singles on the 18s B team. Has been taken ill. Again. It came on as he was suiting up warmly for the B Squad's 07:45 hours drills. A cartridge of a round of 16 match from September's U.S. Open had been on the small room viewer with the sound all the way down as usual, and Troeltsch had been straightening the straps on his jock, idly calling the match's action into his fist when it came on. The illness. It came out of nowhere. His breathing all of a sudden started hurting the back of his throat. Then that overfull heat in various cranial meatus. Then he squeezed, and the stuff he sneezed out was thick and doughy. It came on ultra-fast and out of the pre-drill blue. He's back in bed now, supine, watching the match's 4th set but not calling the action. The viewers right under Pemulus's poster of the Paranoid King that you can't escape looking at if you want to look at the viewer.
21.
Note 21. Q.V. Note 211 sub dot. End of note 21.
Note 211. As with the neurogastric thing, only Ted Schacht and Hal know that Pemulus's deepest dread is of academic or disciplinary expulsion and ejection, of having to schlep back down to Comm Avenue into blue-collar Alston diploma and ticket outless. And now, in his final ETA year, the dreads increased many-fold, and is one reason Pemulus takes such elaborate precautions in all extracurriculars, making substance customer explicitly suborn him, etc. And is why Hal and Schacht presented him on his last birthday with the poster over Pemulus's room's console that has a careworn, large-crowned king sitting on his throne, stroking his chin and brooding, with the caption, "Yes, I am paranoid, but am I paranoid enough?" All right, end of note 211.
Clotted Kleenex littered the floor around his bed's wastebasket. The bedside table is littered with both OTC and prescription expectorants, and pertussives, and analgesics, and vitamin C megaspansules, and 1 bottle of Benadryl and 1 of Seldane.
22.
Note 22. Trade name of terfetidine, Marion Merodal Pharmaceuticals, the tactical nuclear weapon of non-drowsy antihistamines and mucoidal desiccators. In other words, dries up the snot. Over-the-counter anti-congestion medicine. End of note 22.
Only the Seldane bottle actually contains several tenuate 75 milligram capsules Troeltsch has incrementally promoted from Pemulus's part of the room. It has, rather ingeniously he thinks, stashed in bold, plain sight in a bedside pill bottle with a Peemster would never think to check. Troeltsch is the sort that can feel his own forehead and detect fever. It's definitely a rhinovirus, the sudden severe kind. He speculated on if yesterday when Graham Rader pretended to sneeze on J. Troeltsch's lunch tray at the milk dispenser at lunch, if Rader might have really sneezed and only pretended to pretend, transferring virulent rhinoviri to Troeltsch's delicate mucosa. He feverishly mentally calls down various cosmic retributions on Rader. Neither of Troeltsch's roommates is here. Ted Schacht is getting the knees first of several whirlpools for the day. Pemulus has geared up and left for 7:45 drills. Troeltsch offered Pemulus rights to his breakfast to fill up his vaporizer for him and call the first shift nurse for yet more Seldane nuclear-grade antihistamine and a dextromethorphan nebulizer and a written excuse from AM drills. He lies there sweating freely, watching digitally recorded professional tennis, too worried about his throat to feel loquacious enough to call the action. Seldane is not supposed to make you drowsy, but he feels weak and unpleasantly drowsy. He can barely make a fist. He's sweaty. Nausea/vomiting like not an impossibility by any means. He cannot believe how fast it came on, the illness. The vaporizer seethes and burps, and all four of the room's windows weep against the outside cold. There are the sad, tiny, distant champagne cork sounds of scores of balls being hit down at the east courts. Troeltsch drifts at a level just above sleep. Enormous ATH SCME displacement fans far up north at the wall, and Border's distant roar, and the outdoor voices and pock of cold balls create a kind of sound carpet below the digestive sounds of the vaporizer, and the squeak of Troeltsch's bed springs as he thrashes and twitches in a moist half-sleep. He has heavy German eyebrows and big-knuckled hands. It's one of those unpleasant opioid feverish half-sleep states, more a fugue state than a sleep state, less a floating than like being cast adrift on rough seas, tossed mightily in and out of this half-sleep, where your mind's still working, and you can ask yourself whether you're asleep even as you dream. And any dreams you do have seem ragged at the edges, gnawed on, incomplete. It's literally daydreaming. Sick, the kind of incomplete fugue you awake from with a sort of psychic clunk, struggling up to sit upright, convinced there's someone unauthorized in the dorm room with you, falling back sick on his circle-stained pillow, staring straight up into the prolix folds of the Turkish blanketish thing Pemulus and Schacht had crazy-glued to the ceiling's corners, which billows, hanging, so its folds form a terrain, like with valleys and shadows. I am coming to see that the sensation of the worst nightmares, a sensation that can be felt asleep or awake, is identical to those worst dreams' form itself. The sudden intra-dream realization that the nightmare's very essence and center has been with you all along, even awake. It's just been overlooked. And then that horrific interval between realizing that you've overlooked and turning your head to look back at what's been right there, all along, the whole time. Your first nightmare away from home and folks. Your first night at the academy. It was there all along. The dream is that you awaken from a deep sleep, wake up suddenly damp and panicked, and are overwhelmed with the sudden feeling that there is a distillation of total evil in this dark, strange sub-dorm room with you. That evil's essence and center is right here in this room right now, and is for you alone. None of the other little boys in the room are awake. The bunk above yours sags, dead, motionless. No one moves. No one else in the room feels the presence of something radically evil. None thrash or sit damply up. No one else cries out. Whatever it is not evil for them. The flashlight your mother name-tagged with masking tape and packed for you special pans around the institutional room. The drop ceiling, the gray striped mattress, and bulged grid of bunk springs above you. The two other bunk beds, another matte gray that won't return light. The piles of books and compact discs and tapes and tennis gear. Your disk of white light trembling like the moon on water as it plays over the identical bureaus. The recessions of closet and room's front door. Doors frames belections. The cone of light pans over fixtures. The lumpy jumbles of sleeping boys' shadows on the snuff-white walls. The two rag throw rugs ovals on the hardwood floor. Black lines of baseboards reglets. The cracks in the Venetian blinds that ooze the violet non-light of a night with snow and just a hook of moon. The flashlight with your name in maternal cursive plays over every centimeter of the walls. The rheostats. CD. Interlaced poster of Tawny Kondo. Phone console. Desks TPs. The face in the floor. Posters of prose. The onion skin yellow of the desk lamp's shades. The ceiling panels' patterns of pinholes. The grid of upper bunks' springs. Recession of closet and door. Boys wrapped in blankets. Slight crack like a creek's course in the eastward ceiling, discernible now. Maple reglet border at seam of ceiling. And walls north and south. No floor has a face, your flashlight showed, but didn't know, never did see its eyes, pupils set sideways and tapered like a cat's, its eyebrows V, and the horrid toothy smile leering right at your light all the time you've been scanning. Oh, Mother, a face in the floor. Mother, oh. And your flashlight's beam stabs jaggedly back for the overlooked face, misses it, overcorrects, then centers on what you'd felt but had seen without seeing just now, as you'd so carefully panned the light and looked, a face in the floor there all the time but unfelt by all others, and unseen by you until you knew just as you felt it didn't belong and was evil. Evil. And then its mouth opens at your light. And then you wake like that, quivering like a struck drum. Lying there awake and quivering, summoning courage and spit, roll to the right just as in the dream for the name-tagged flashlight on the floor by the bed just in case, lie there on your shank and side, shining the light all over just as in the dream, lie there panning, looking, all ribs and elbows and dilated eyes. The awake floor is littered with gear and dirty clothes, blonde hardwood with sealed seams, two throw rugs, the bare waxed wood shiny in the window's snowlight, the floor neutral, faceless. You cannot see any face in the floor. Awake, lying there, faceless, blank, dilated, playing beam over floor again and again, not sure all night forever, unsure you're not missing something that's right there. You lie there, awake at almost 12, believing with all your might.